If you've been scrolling through endless espresso machine listings, you've probably felt that knot in your stomach every time a shiny new model promises keflavel drinks, but you can't be sure it won't end up as a pricey paperweight. You don't want to drop a few $100s on something that looks great on the counter but leaves you with inconsistent shots, a finicky steam wand, or a machine that takes more time to learn than to actually enjoy a latte. And with the Gallatin RHX from Turin Grinders, the question is whether that investment actually translates into a reliable, everyday tool for your home kitchen or if it's just another over-engineered gadget. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the basics that matter once the box is opened. The Gallatin R is built around a commercial-grade rotary pump, the kind you normally see behind the bar in a busy coffee shop. That's a big deal for a home machine because rotary pumps deliver a steady pressure curve without the pulsating thump you hear from a typical vibration pump. In practice, that means the machine can maintain the 9 bars of pressure you need for a proper extraction without the shudder that sometimes throws off the timing of a shot. If you've ever tried to pull a shot on a lower-end home espresso machine and felt the pressure dip mid-pour, you'll recognize how that can ruin the balance of flavors. With the Gallatin R, the pressure stays smooth, which translates into more repeatable taste from cup to cup. Temperature is the next piece of the puzzle, and the Gallatin R gives you a PID controller that lets you dial the brew water temperature to within a degree or two. For most casual drinkers, around 93°C setting works fine, but if you're the sort of espresso enthusiast who tweaks grind size and dose and expects the same temperature night after night, that level of precision can be the difference between a bright, clean espresso and a flat, under-extracted one. The digital display makes those tweaks easy to see at a glance, and you can program pre-infusion times so the water wets the puck gently before full pressure kicks in. In a real-world kitchen, that means you can experiment with a short pre-infusion for a sweeter profile or skip it entirely for a quicker pull, without having to guess whether the machine is actually delivering what you set. Now, let's talk about the flow control. The Gallatin R's integrated flow control valve is a feature that most entry-level machines don't even attempt. It lets you adjust the water flow rate while the shot is in progress, giving you a manual lever over the extraction that many baristas use to fine-tune the balance between acidity and body. In practice, you might start a shot a little slower to let the coffee bloom, then open the valve a touch wider to finish the shot cleanly. It adds a level of hand control that can turn a good espresso into a great one, provided you're willing to spend a few minutes learning the rhythm. If you prefer a set-it-and-forget-it approach, that extra knob could feel like unnecessary complexity. Milk texturing is where the Gallatin R tries to win over the latte lover. The 3-hole steam wand is designed to create a vortex that draws air in while heating the milk, producing a silky microfoam without the dry steam you sometimes get from single-hole tips. I tested it by steaming a half-gallon of whole milk for a cappuccino and a latte, and the result was a smooth, glossy foam that held its shape for at least a minute after pouring. The learning curve isn't zero. Getting that glossy sheen still requires proper positioning and a bit of wrist action, but the wand's design does make it easier to achieve calf-style texture compared to a basic wand that spits out large bubbles. If you regularly make milk-based drinks, this is a clear advantage. All of these features sound impressive, but they also come with hidden trade-offs that matter when you're deciding whether to press add to cart. First, the mirror-finished stainless steel body is undeniably striking, but it's also a surface that fingerprints love to cling to. In a busy kitchen, you might find yourself wiping the front panel more often than you'd like, especially if you have kids or pets that leave paw prints. Second, the machine size is more akin to a commercial unit than a compact countertop model. It takes up a fair amount of counter real estate, and the water reservoir sits on the side rather than being built into the base, meaning you have to refill it manually and keep an eye on the level if you're pulling multiple drinks back to back. Another practical consideration is the power draw. A rotary pump plus a PID-controlled boiler can pull a noticeable amount of electricity, so if you're on a limited circuit or have multiple appliances running, you may notice the breaker tripping more often than with a smaller machine. The Gallatin R doesn't have a built-in water tank heater that runs continuously. You have to